But the Lord sent out a great wind on the sea, and there was a mighty tempest on the sea, so that the ship was about to be broken up. Then the mariners were afraid, and every man cried out to his God, and threw the cargo that was in the ship into the sea to lighten the load. But Jonah had gone down into the lowest parts of the ship, had laid down, and was fast asleep. So the captain came to him and said to him, "What do you mean, sleeper? Arise, call on your God. Perhaps your God will consider us, so that we may not perish." And they said to one another, "Come, let us cast lots, we may know for whose cause this trouble has come upon us." So they cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. Then they said to him, "Please tell us, for whose cause is this trouble upon us? What is your occupation? And where do you come from? What is your country? And of what people are you?" So he said to them, "I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." God had called Jonah to go and preach to the foreign people of Nineveh. Due to his hate, his prejudice against the people of Nineveh, Jonah tried to run the other way. He was now on a boat to Tarshish. Jonah tried to run away from God's presence, but God is everywhere. He is omnipresent. Not only is he everywhere, he is also in control of the weather. God literally hurled a great wind on the sea. This was a judgment on Jonah. Jonah's sin, his disobedience, had now endangered the lives of others. It is a reality that our sin, our bad choices, can hurt other people. Our sin can hurt strangers, friends, and even family. The storm was sent specifically to wake up Jonah. God will use storms to wake us up too. Make sure you are paying attention to the things that God allows in your life. If you are a Christian and you disobey God, He will punish you to make you more like Christ. Pay attention. Now, no chastening seems to be joyful for the present, but painful. Nevertheless, afterward it yields a peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. The sailors were facing a serious storm in this passage. These professional sailors were afraid. It is often said that there are no atheists in a foxhole. When a soldier is in the middle of battle and facing potential death, they will likely cry out to God to save them. These professional sailors were afraid for their lives, and they cried out to their false gods, but their fake gods could not answer. Like these sailors, we often try to depend on things other than the true God. We might seek help from our family. We might depend upon our jobs. We might trust our government. We might rely on our own abilities, but only God is truly in control. To lighten the load, the sailors began to dump their cargo from the ship. Where was Jonah this whole time? Was his conscience bothered by what he had done? Oh no. Jonah was asleep, spiritually and physically. The sleeper did not appear to be worried about what he had done. What about you? Are you asleep spiritually? Not worrying about your relationship with God? What kind of storm will God have to send to wake you up? In distress, the captain went and woke up Jonah. The captain wanted Jonah to pray to his God. Perhaps his God would hear. Even if people do not believe in the true God, they may desire that you pray for them. They want relief. They want hope. Look at the people around you. Are they going through storms right now? It is a great time for you to witness to them. They are afraid. They need hope. They need Jesus. And we do not have to wonder if God hears us. We do not have to wonder if God will take action. He is the one true God who hears the prayers of His children. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. The sailors wanted to know who had caused this trouble, this calamity they were facing. They cast lots, maybe like rolling the dice, and God revealed that Jonah was the cause. Jonah was the cause of this trouble. The Hebrew word for trouble was translated wickedness in verse 2 when describing Nineveh. Jonah was just as bad as the people of Nineveh. None of us deserve God's mercy. The people of Nineveh did not deserve God's mercy. Jonah did not deserve God's mercy. The sailors wanted answers. Please tell us, for whose cause is this trouble upon us? What is your occupation? And where do you come from? What is your country? And of what people are you? Today, when we face troubles, we want answers. When you face sickness, you want answers. When you face tragedy, you want answers. When you see riots, you want answers. When you see hate, you want answers. The problem is sin. The answer is Jesus. Jesus was on a rescue mission to save us from our sin. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Jonah was supposed to tell the people of Nineveh that sin equals death. Judgment is coming to those in sin. Jonah told the sailors that he was a Hebrew. He told them, "I fear the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." This description of God as making the sea and the dry land is important. For one, Jonah made it clear that God was responsible for the storm. He was also making a distinction of the one true God, separate from the sailors' false gods. The sailors may have been Phoenician and would have likely worshipped Baal, the sky god. The people of Nineveh worshipped the fish god Dagon and the fish goddess Nanshi. The Egyptians worshipped a sun god, a river god, a horizon god, and some other 2,000 false gods. People that do not know the true God tend to worship his creation. That is why people created so many false gods. The pagans reasoned that rain must be controlled by one god, and crops must have been controlled by another god, and so on and so on. But the one true God is God of all creation. He is the God of the sea and the dry land. Creation is a great starting point to witness to people that are unfamiliar with the Bible. Creation is what theologians call a general revelation of God. We can see the complexity of creation, the fine-tuning of creation. Who created everything? The one true God that is revealed in the Bible. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night reveals knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Have you acknowledged the God of creation? Jonah said that he feared or worshiped the God who created the sea and the dry land. But Jonah has tried to run away from God's calling on his life. But the Lord sent out a great wind on the sea, and there was a mighty tempest on the sea, so that the ship was about to be broken up. Then the mariners were afraid, and every man cried out to his God, and threw the cargo that was in the ship into the sea to lighten the load. But Jonah had gone down into the lowest parts of the ship, had laid down, and was fast asleep. So the captain came to him and said to him, "What do you mean, sleeper? Arise, call on your God. Perhaps your God will consider us, so that we may not perish." And they said to one another, "Come, let us cast lots, we may know for whose cause this trouble has come upon us." So they cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. Then they said to him, "Please tell us, for whose cause is this trouble upon us? What is your occupation? And where do you come from? What is your country? And of what people are you?" So he said to them, "I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." God has sent a storm of judgment upon Jonah, and the sailors know that Jonah is the cause of their trouble. In the next video, we will find out how the sailors respond to Jonah and how God intervenes.